everybody, and welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. I can't tell you how much it means to me to have repeat viewers, especially with such a small audience as I have. My name is Avon Van Hassel. I'm a self-published author, and my books, The Beanseller Saga, are available on Amazon for ebook and paperback. Yes. Today is March 31st. Tomorrow's April 1st, which means it is the first day of Camp NaNoWriMo. Now, I touched really briefly last week, week before, sometime, I touched really briefly on what Camp Nano is, and I have written blog posts about it, and I have waxed poetic. But I thought I would take this time to explain a little bit more in depth what Camp Nano actually is and why you should do it. Now, NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month, takes place in November every year for many years. I first did it in 2010, 2011. It's been going since I was in high school, but I first did it in college, and it was a terrible decision. I was in the middle of writing essays and a bunch of other projects, and there was a lot going on, and I was also in charge of Thanksgiving that year, and I was living abroad, so I was doing Thanksgiving by myself for like 20 people, and because I wasn't in the States, it wasn't easy to get all the ingredients, so I had to it was a mess. I had a lot going on, but I did actually end up completing Nano, and which I will explain to you what that means in a second. And it was an accomplishment, and I did actually complete it and succeed. And the whole point of having an event like this in November is to kind of prove to people that if you can do it at one of the busiest times of year, there's really nothing stopping you writing during the rest of the year. And I'm going to get in a second into why that also is important and relevant to what's going to happen tomorrow. So the rules of National Novel Writing Month are that you have 30 days from November 1st to November 30th to write a 50,000 word fiction novel, start to finish, by yourself. So you write 1,667 words a day for 30 days. It has to be fictional. You have to write it by yourself, and you cannot start it before November 1st. So those are the rules. And for quite a long time, I had an unbroken streak. Then things started happening, and they haven't been great. But this year, I'm getting back on the horse. So that's National Novel Writing Month. Now, you're usually broken up regionally. And so, like, my town is its own region, and that's sort of team captain. It's called the Municipal Liaison. One of my years, I want to say 2015, 2014, one of those years, I was actually Municipal Liaison for my city. So that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work. It was very frustrating in a lot of ways, but it was fun. I kind of miss it. I kind of want to do it again. Maybe if we open up by November, I'll do it again this year. But Camp Nano, so Camp National Novel Writing Month, is 2 events, one in April and one in July, where the rules are a little more relaxed. So, and it has a bit more of a, NaNoWriMo has a very strong community. Kind of like the Sims community in that we hate it, but we love it. So there's a lot of culture that's sprung up around Nano. Like, you'll have the 50K in a day people who will write literally 50,000 words, their whole novel, in one day. Those people are insane. I worry for their, like, blood pressure. I worry for the amount of caffeine that they must consume. I have to imagine that they live alone, because I just have to imagine that they live alone. They probably don't sleep. I have to imagine they have pretty high stakes jobs in order to handle that kind of pressure. Like, writing is my job, and I can't handle that kind of pressure. So I don't know how they do it, but they do it. And then you have people who have, there are these superstitions that come up, right? There are things called word count dragons, who are little imaginary dragons that you have to look after, and they eat words. So you have to feed your dragon every day by feeding them 1,667 words. And that's how you keep them fed. We have things like plot bunnies that are where your plot is going along fine, and then all of a sudden something happens and your plot takes a completely different turn, and you don't know what happened and you had to bring it back. Then there's something called the traveling shovel of death, which is a bloody shovel, and you don't know how it got bloody. Was it digging up a body? Was it a murder weapon? Did it just happen to be in some place that was bloody? It has to appear in your novel somewhere, usually in the scene you're currently writing when you encounter it on the boards. So if you come across the traveling shovel of death, you have to stop what you're doing and write it into the scene. There are plot ninjas that are like the opposite of plot bunnies in that they swoop in to fix your plot. There are a lot of little things like that where you have little things to kind of help us keep the momentum and keep things interesting, and you kind of reach a certain point where if you're not a stickler like me, your plot goes completely off the rails. And most people use Nano just as an excuse to write at all. Most people aren't using it to kind of restock the store like I do, but it can get a lot of fun. It can get really crazy, but it is a lot of fun, and it is a great community, and everybody kind of tries to keep everybody going and keep your momentum up and keep your motivation up, and it's fun. It's great fun. But I think part of the reason why it has that culture is because we are sort of restricted to, your groups are regional, and so the wider community is a little more wide open, whereas in Camp Nano you get cabins, and you can have whoever you want in your cabin. I'm going to set up a cabin for my misfits, and so even if we don't live near each other, there is cat hair everywhere. My co-author is a cat, so her hair is everywhere. I'm going to set up a cabin for us, and you guys can join if you want to, or not join if you don't want to. And so that kind of encourages you to talk a bit more within the cabin, but you still can talk to people outside. But people do get a little bit more insular because you can choose to write with your friends instead of you're just kind of stuck with who you live nearby. Camp Nano is also a little bit more gentle and easygoing because you can choose your genre. It doesn't even have to be fiction. It doesn't have to be original. It can be fan fiction. It doesn't have to be 50,000 words. You can choose how many words your goal is. It doesn't even have to be 30 days because July is 31 days. So it's just kind of, you can work on stories that you've previously started, which is what I'm going to do. So it's a little bit more laid back for people who are a little intimidated by November Nano. So I think it's one of the events that I like to promote, because I feel like if you really want to be an author, and you really if you're one of those people who has an idea but you just don't have the time, Nano is a really great resource, especially if you're somebody like me who really needs the pressure, and really, if you're competitive with yourself, because I'm not competitive with other people. I don't have to have more words than somebody else. I don't care. But I get competitive with myself. I need to be better than I was before. And I need to beat my personal bests all the time. So this is a really great opportunity for me, and I need the pressure and the structure to get things done, and to get them done on a schedule. So it really helps me. And like I was going to finish saying, if you're somebody who really wants to take this seriously, this is a great way to do it, because there's a large community of people who are just the same as you. It's only a month. And April is one of the quieter months. July is, of course, in the middle of the summer. So if you're a student, or if you have young kids who are off school, you have a bit more time. You're not rushing to school engagements. You're not worrying about Thanksgiving or the Christmas or whatever. It's a bit more laid back. And because you can choose your word count, you don't necessarily have to stick to the 1667 a day. So I think it's a really great thing to do. I really find that it helps me, and I'm going to be starting my 4th book tomorrow in a day. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope you join me. So I'm going to drop a link in the description box, and I'm also going to drop a link on Facebook and possibly also on Instagram if I get my shit together in time. And if not, I'll drop a link at some point. It'll happen. And I hope to see you guys there, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with. If you found this video helpful at all, or if you just like seeing all my faces or my new background or my shirt, be sure to like this video. If you want to see more content from me, or you want to know what I'm up to, etc., etc., be sure to subscribe. And if you think there's anybody who might be interested in writing a story and getting their first terrible, awful draft that nobody will judge you for because all first drafts are awful, maybe share this video with them, and it might, be something that you guys could do together if that sounds like something that would be fun to you. Until then, I will see you hopefully tomorrow in the cabin and on Facebook and on Instagram and here. And I'll see you then. Bye-bye.